back to my channel. If you're a new subscriber, then welcome in. If you are a returning subscriber, then welcome back. I hope this video finds you well. Today I will be doing a review of the Mary Magdalene Sisterhood of the Rose Power Cards, a new addition to my collection and a new favorite of mine within the brief time of me owning it. My name is Leroy, and on this channel I discuss topics regarding magic, saint work, tarot, and the occult. If any of that piques your interest, then have yourself a look around my channel and decide for yourself if you'd like to subscribe. Now, I'm quite eager to get into these cards, so let's get into this deck a little bit. I'm not at all sure when these cards came out, but it seems to be self-published by a tattoo artist named Elizabeth Markov, who goes by the name Lazer Liz. She is based in New York City. The guidebook states that these cards were basically created through conversations and meditations with Mary Magdalene throughout the years. I originally saw this deck a few months ago and I added it to my Amazon cart, but before I could buy it, it sold out. It thankfully came back in stock a few weeks ago, and I was able to snag one of them before it sold out again. This deck is by no means perfect. The extremely thin guidebook has a few grammatical errors in it, and the box was pretty much practically impossible to open, the deck box itself. And I'll probably get into that a little bit later. But yeah, basically, see how it is right here? There's no little indentation to pull the box out. So I actually had to cut it on the other side to be able to open the box with ease. Before that though, it took me like 20 minutes to get this open because I didn't want to damage the deck box, and thankfully I was able to get it open somehow. This is a 45 card deck, which is a plus because it always feels a bit off to me when an Oracle deck is below 40 cards, and the card backs have a nebula with the Vesica Pisces on it, which I find to be really nice since I like sacred geometry to begin with. The cards are gilded in gold and they're really rather thin, and they're dancing on that fine line, like almost too thin, but thankfully they aren't paper thin. And I think that the fact that they are gilded, I feel like the gilding gives them a lot more structure and integrity, if that makes sense. So they don't feel so ready to rip, I guess, because of the gilding. I'm gonna go ahead and flip through the cards, and then I'm going to discuss my thoughts on some of the various artworks of the cards. So I like some of the artwork more than some of the others, and some of the cards feel very profound and very spiritual right off the bat, like right at first glance. This is one of the better Divine Feminine decks out there in my opinion. It's all related to teachings of Mary Magdalene, as well as the Sisterhood of the Rose, and I wish that the deck's creator had put more information in the guidebook about this being whom she's created an entire deck around. So this is a screenshot of an Instagram post that the author or the deck creator made about the cards themselves. So if you want to see a little bit more perspective about the deck and about the purpose of the deck, then pause and read. Also, I apologize for the text being very small. So yeah, I just knew I wanted to share this with you all. So now back to the main video. In the small introduction, we learn a little bit about the Sisterhood of the Rose, hailing from the times of Atlantis and Lemuria, and these 144 women were basically priestesses who worked to activate people's heart chakras through using the energy of the Divine Feminine. It also discusses how the rose is a galactic symbol of the goddess. The author states that Mary Magdalene is the embodiment of love and of the red rose, along with the Sisterhood of the Rose, and the cards aim to gently guide you into the energy of self-love, while gently helping you into acceptance and empowerment. The information that the author gives is not really elaborated on too much, and I found it very fascinating because it was the first time I ever heard of Mary Magdalene as a standalone figure with her own teachings, even if only partially. There's a bit explaining ways to use the cards. A few of the cards had low quality art on them. Let me see if I can find some. Let's see. This is a little low quality. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little pixelated. And so yeah, some of the cards, this one was probably maybe the worst one. So all the background and everything looks nice, but you see the black and white figure on the card is very pixelated. It's out of focus. It looks a little blurry, a little fuzzy. And this was one of the only cards in the deck that I was just not feeling because of that. So yeah, some of the cards are just a little funny, a little bit pixelated. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 cards like this. And at first I didn't like these cards, but after drawing the pixelated cards and reading, I got to know them, and I'm not really mad at the pixelation anymore. I'm glad I bought this deck because it's brimming with deep messages, some of which lend themselves to shadow work even, which is actually a huge bonus. The spiritual powers themselves are found within the cards. The cards really do feel powerful, and their soft energy is always a pleasant way to start off my day. The card meanings have messages that can be insightful and perspective shifting, and at the bottom of each card meaning there's a little section of keyword phrases and or practical advice, which I really appreciate. The deck seems to only release in batches on Amazon, and at the time of me making this, it was unavailable when I went to buy it. The first time I went to buy it, I saw it on Amazon, but it was sold out, and I kept it in my save for later in my cart, and I basically just got lucky. A few weeks passed, so after some weeks I saw that it had been restocked. When I saw it, it was already almost sold out again, with almost all the copies already purchased. I think it said 7 copies remaining. So I pretty much just immediately bought it. I jumped at the chance to own the deck. And so I guess if you want it for yourself, I guess just keep an eye on it, because it seems like it might come back in stock again. So that's what I had to do with it, and I was able to get it for myself. So lately with this deck, I've been drawing 1 card a day from this deck, alongside 1 card from the Beltane Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. And this deck right here, it's also gilded. I find that they work really well together. They balance off each other really well. It's a really nice deck, and maybe I'll do a review of it in a different video. But that's the Seasons of the Witch Beltane deck. So I will lastly leave you all with a card pull from this deck, and I will read to you the meaning of the card I pull, so you can get a feel of how the cards are described in the book. Alright, let's see here. What general message would benefit those watching this video the most on the day that they see this? Alright, we got Earth Magic. That's what it looks like. That's card number 42. I'll read to you the kind of in-depth description, which, isn't that much, and then I'll read the keywords at the end of it. So, Earth Magic. Seems like it's a channeled message. Back when I walked the earth, I loved to walk barefoot. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Connect to her. Ground yourself. Invite her in. She is the great mother and supporter of all humanity and all the living beings that she cradles in her arms. Connect with Gaia as much as you can, for she is a great source of strength. She takes care of you and is capable to teach you great lessons. She is a great healer. Absorb her energy and feel her protection. As children of the earth, must you enclose yourselves in tiny boxes at all times? She needs your help to restore the balance of giving and receiving. How can you help today? The key words are spend time in nature, embrace the seasons, travel, and give back to Earth. That's a not very specific message. So it's just basically not necessarily saying to ground, although I guess that's part of it. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Hope you enjoyed this little mini reading. So I have a few questions. I wanted to know if any of you actually work with Mary Magdalene. Because, I've heard about her in the biblical sense, but I've never heard about her as a spiritual being, who, on her own with her own teachings that people communicate with, that they channel gnosis from. So do any of you actually work with her in that sense? Do any of you own this deck? Like, what are your honest opinions about it? Now, if you found that you enjoyed this video, then be so kind and drop a like. And if you want to see more deck reviews like this one, then subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care. Mary Magdalene Sisterhood of the Rose power cards. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, does it?